trying to put up some fencing for this little mini goat barn. I never filmed any footage on the build for that, but I will on the matching chicken coop that's going to go on the other end. Well, as you can tell, I've gotten a little tired. There is nothing but rocks here. Take a look here. Those big rocks I just pulled out of there took forever. I really need to get a 3-point post hole digger for the tractor. Landscaping timbers for the posts just because that's what we have available. I've got some 4x4s, but I didn't want to use fresh milled lumber to put in the ground without being treated. I figure these might hold up a little bit longer than some green lumber. So. Go back and start working on this goat pen again because I don't have a lot of time. So my trailer brake parts should be here today. So once they show up, I've really got to start working on the trailer. I'm not going to be able to work on that too much, but I really got to get it done because this is currently what the goats are in. And this one really does not like it. So we got to get that done as quick as we can because goats are really not meant to be in something that small. They like to be able to jump up on something. I got to build them a pen fenced in, maybe 6-foot high fences so that they can jump on top of rocks and whatever. But she gets out, walks on a leash. The white one likes walking on a leash. The black one doesn't like it at all. But my daughter just got the black one from the auction, so she hasn't probably had too much human interaction. Whereas the white one we've had, you know, since she was really little, She's pretty used to it, but they're for 4-H, so she has to be able to walk them on a leash or whatever. There's one rabbit, a whole bunch of chickens. Now, let me turn you around, you can see what we did for a chicken coop here. So, we took a dog kennel. I put a fence panel slanted for a roof and attached it to a shed. It works. It's just really ugly, so that is why, since I've got the mill, we're gonna build something better. So down here, and I'm also gonna be building a shed to get rid of that ugly tarp one. I do, we have animals, but I do still live in town, so I try to kind of in town, but well, we decided last night that this was not enough room as far as width. So I don't have the tractor here. Tractor and the side-by-side are up on the hill, so I'm gonna try and hook my truck to that, pull it forward about 5 feet, fill these holes back in after all the work to get that big rock out of there. And we're gonna make the run a 10 by 15 rather than a 5 by 15. Now let's come over here and I'll show you what else. These are chickens that my wife has hatched that aren't big enough to go in with the other ones yet. Oh, the camera will focus here. That one really wants to come out. And then there's a very giant rabbit in here. There we go, there's some decent focus. Let's see. There it is. My daughter also just got that one at the auction. She got rid of 2 roosters and 5 rabbits. Came home with another goat and another rabbit. So I'm gonna see what I can find to hook to that. Hopefully the ground's solid enough for the truck. And I'm gonna measure out 5 feet, set something on the ground as a reference, and start pulling. Okay, see if I have enough chain to roll it around and hook back to the chain. I might, but I think what I'd rather do, show you a trick here. Take this, because this will reach all the way across. We're gonna stick it on the back. What we did, I wrapped the chain around the landscape timber so when we pull, it's even on the whole thing. So landscape timber is actually what's gonna pull it. Kind of would have liked it a little more forward, but I think that's pretty good. Pretty good? What do you think? See, the idea, because with it, my wife didn't want the pen sticking out in front of the barn. So I had to pull the barn forward. We're gonna get rid of these holes. Holes back there just to make it wider, but now I have to dig another hole there, maybe one in the middle. I don't know yet. Depends on how sturdy the fencing is. That goat's a savage, so I mean, it's gotta be a pretty sturdy fence. The little white one, she's pretty brutal. I'm surprised you haven't heard her banging on the side of the fence over there yet. She really wants out of there. Looks good enough from the couch. Sweet. You know, everybody asks me, I've got two boys, I've got a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old. Why the heck aren't they out here doing this? It's a very good question. Start filling all these holes back in. The rocks in the bottom. See if we can use less dirt, then maybe we can use dirt for something else. Saved that rock because I thought it was kind of cool, and then I realized what the heck do I need to put the cool rock stick back in the hole. There's a whole lot of work just to redo it. You know what's crazy is with that Harbor Freight post hole digger, I bet you that even now that that's all already been dug up, if I try to dig that up, I bet you I'd have a hard time. Just because of the rocks. I mean, it doesn't take one half the size of a baseball to bind that thing up. Rip my arms off. You're hammering with the back side of an axe. You don't want to swing back too much. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that one just yet, because I know that's going to be a major pain. I'd much rather, I'm going to just do the easy ones first, okay? I can't believe I'm still on my first tank of fuel on this thing. I mean, I don't want to knock it. It's good for what it is, I guess. That's just doesn't work very well here. We got so many rocks. Here we're about to stretch the fence, and down here, don't take lessons from me. That's how I did that. That's just to hold it so I could stretch it, but I'm gonna screw a board onto there covering that. But this is used fencing, just using what we got. Now down here, I couldn't find bolts in all that with nuts and washers. So I screwed these two together, almost make a sandwich out of the fence. Now I'm going to hook a come-along to that board and go back to my trailer hitch. I may have to get a little closer. And just take it nice and easy. That way it pulls on the whole thing, rather than, you know, if I just hook here or here, even if I did a couple of them, it's just going to bend these like that. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far. I pulled that one tight at the bottom, and I did the same with this one, and then at the top I ended up just putting a board in it and using the pole to pry on. And as you can tell, I don't know if you could see it, but that corner pole is leaning in a little bit now. So I've got to figure that out, but I want to get all the fencing up first, and then I can always put a come along to the pole and, you know, pull it straight and figure it out from there, pack it down more. See, this fence was pretty tight until this pole leaned a little bit from all the tension on it. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to do the top from over there down to here by myself, without somebody holding the rest of the roll, so I can get the first couple staples in it on that pole. So the best thing I came up with is to bring it down and set the roll on my tailgate, and then the end down there. I wish that I had a pole, a stand to put on the tailgate for it to stand upright, so I could just pull it right off of that like a roll, but I don't. So let's see how this is gonna work. Like so many things I do, this sure would be easier with a second person. Could be a little tighter at the bottom. Lost my hammer. Found my hammer. set my hammer right here. Don't let me forget where I put it. Where did I put my fencing pliers? That'll do. You know, I have a hammer holder clips in that goes through my belt, but I'll never use it. I should. Now that corner looks pretty ugly where it's attaching to the building, so I'm gonna get a 1x board and screw over all that, and that's gonna help hold that down too, because that ash wood is pretty hard to drive staples into. It's not quite done yet. We've still got to clasp all these together, and I've got one more spot that has to be attached up there. I would like to not have it loose at the top, but the only solution I could think to that is to put a pole that goes from here to here and then same on all the corners, but I just haven't done that yet. I might, we'll see, but for now it's good. Now I just got to make them something real quick to be able to climb on. Now these, how they work is they're in the shape of a J, and when you clamp them down with these pliers, it folds in to make a ring around it, like this one. You end up using this part to clamp it down into a circle. Finally done enough for the goats to move in. I've got the fencing all held together with those J hooks, some stakes holding it down to the ground. The only thing I have left to do are the battens for the board and batten. I was letting that lumber dry a little bit first. See, you know, it's gonna shrink. It's gonna give me some gaps, and I'll nail the battens in through those gaps. Oh, Violet thought I was gonna let her out. have it. That's one project completed. I do have quite a bit more. There's a chicken coop that's going to match that, but be a little bigger, skinnier run. Probably have a 5x10 run, but I've got that along with a couple others. Now I've got some cleanup to do, and then I've got to mill some more lumber before I can even start the next project. So later on we will get some trailer brakes done, because my brakes showed up yesterday, and I remember saying that I had to do my brakes. I didn't have a lot of time to work on this. Well, once I got started, I didn't want to quit until it was done. So now I've got to do some brakes. I'm going to wait till a little later when it starts cooling down a little bit, because it has gotten hot. If you've made it this far in the video, I sure do appreciate you bearing with my bad camera skills. Stay tuned for the next one. Stay safe.